She gets worried and heads home, but gets even more flustered when she doesn't find Se-eon there. She waits for him to come home and falls asleep on the couch, and when the morning comes, Se-eon has still not returned home. She turns on the news to see if anything happened, and to her shock, there was an explosion and a fire in Se-eon's office last night. The security footage shows a masked man entering the building disguised as a pizza delivery man and leaving just before the explosion, and the fact that someone was threatening Se-eon through anonymous calls is also out. The media believes that the person who made the calls was behind the explosion, and they even play some part of the recorded calls. Hee-ju is shocked to see this, and just then, Se-eon returns home, slightly injured in his shirt covered with dust and soot. He walks towards Hee-ju, who backs away, but then he places her on the table and gets close, saying that lately there have been too many things confusing him, and he is going to confirm the truth with his own eyes. Hee-ju doesn't understand what he is saying, and then he begins lifting up her dress. She tries to stop him, but he tells her that she can cooperate, or he will have to use force. The last night, as he was on the call with Hee-ju, someone knocked at the office door repeatedly, and when a guy went to see what was it, he saw a pizza box on the ground. Being the greedy glutton that he was, he brought the free pizza in, but as he opened the box cover, it exploded. Se-eon later woke up in the hospital and Jae told him that no one was critically injured. He then showed him the clip of the kidnapper who deliberately stood before a security camera and signaled a death threat to Se-eon. Se-eon was not willing to take it sitting down, and he decided to play the kidnapper's game. So he informed the media about the threatening calls and the connection to the explosion before returning home. Back to the present, he takes Hee-ju to her bedroom, but she stops him from doing anything and uses a notebook to ask him if he is hurt. He briefly answers her questions before asking her if she is sure that she doesn't know the kidnapper. Hee-ju refuses, so he decides to check out the mole on her thigh. He slides his hand up her thigh, but Hee-ju panics, thinking that it will make things more complicated. She pushes him away and asks what the hell is doing right now. She asks why he is messing with her when it was the kidnapper who tried to harm them both. He asks her if she really doesn't know what he is talking about, and Hee-ju nods. Just then, Se-eon gets a call Jae, so he apologizes to Hee-ju before leaving. He then learns that there is a serial arsonist in town, and the police are considering the explosion to be his work. They are also demanding the threatening calls recording to investigate, but Se-eon tells Jae that it should not be leaked at all. However, he is certain that the kidnapper is not working alone, and there is someone else on his team. Se-eon then goes outside to find Hee-ju cleaning the glass shards on the ground. He tells her to bring her phone because he needs to get it checked for hacking, and in the meantime he begins cleaning the glass. Hee-ju soon returns with her phone, and after he takes it to get it checked, she realizes that he might be thinking that her racy picture was clicked from it. She deletes the picture from the other phone in a hurry and then keeps it back in its hidden place. On the other hand, Se-eon sees that Hee-ju doesn't even have any apps on her phone that she uses except for a messaging app. He opens it, and curious about her relationship with Sang-woo, he begins searching through her chats. He finds an old picture showing them in front of the board of Nuri orphanage with some kids. He begins searching about the orphanage and then sees that Sang-woo has invited Hee-ju to lunch today. He then goes to Jae, who has found out about the explosive used to attack them, but he hasn't been able to make much progress about other things. Se-eon thanks him for helping him out and then goes outside. He then gets a text from Yuri, who asks him out to lunch because she wants an interview. At the same time, Sang-woo and Hee-ju are having lunch at a fine restaurant, and when Yuri comes there, she is surprised to see them. Sang-woo says they are college friends, but Yuri thinks that they may be dating. She then starts acting shy, saying she is also on a lunch date with someone and asks them not to stare too hard at the guy. Soon, Se-eon comes there and Hee-ju chokes on her drink as she sees him. She wonders what he is doing here and hopes that he pretends that he doesn't know her, but he comes straight to her, ignoring Yuri. In the end, he gets all four of them to share a table. Se-eon is jealous of Sang-woo being close to Hee-ju, so he keeps behaving passively aggressively with him. He asks him what he does for a living and if he is married, and Sang-woo asks if he is interested in guys by any chance. Hee-ju can't stand how awkward things are getting, so she just pours her wine on the table and then excuses herself to the bathroom. She tries giving Se-eon a signal, but he doesn't pay her any attention and then leaves to get a call from Jae, who was with the police officers to learn more about their findings when an explosion occurred nearby and he caught the man behind it single-handedly. He tells Se-eon that they found a lot of homemade bombs at the man's house, but Se-eon is certain that he is just the arsonist and not the kidnapper. He decides to go to the police station at once, but finds Hee-ju standing right behind him. She takes his phone and asks him what the hell he is doing here. She wants to know if he is suspecting her and Sang-woo, and Se-eon takes his phone back. He tells her that she might know Sang-woo well and trust him, but he doesn't. He then asks her if she knows him well too, because they have seen each other for the last 20 years. He says that he thought he knew everything about her, but it seems that he was wrong. With that, he goes back to the table to get his coat, and Hee-ju gets a call from her sign language teacher to come to the center right now. Back at the table, Se-yeon decides to pay the bill and asks for Sang-woo's card, who gives him one that says he is a medical consultant. Just as Se-yeon leaves, Hee-ju returns, telling Sang-woo that she has to go to the sign language center, and she too leaves in a hurry.